My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of Ben Stiller's directed movies from worst to best. Now, everybody knows who Ben Stiller is as an actor, but I feel like not enough people talk about him as a director. I'm not saying he has a 100% success ratio, definitely not. He's very hit or miss. But even though all of his movies are different kinds of comedies, they all feel distinct from one another, and I do feel like he has a strong visual style, and I do think he deserves a bit more credit than what he's given in this specific field. But let's begin talking about his movies, and his worst one, without a doubt, is easily Zoolander 2. Like, this movie is just atrocious. It is a movie trying as hard as possible to be funny, and you don't laugh, you're annoyed, you're frustrated, you're fed up with it, and that's all within the first 10 minutes. Like, it is just one of those movies that I truly mean it when I say it's unbearable. And I just don't even want to talk about this movie anymore. Never watch it, it's a giant piece of shit. His second worst movie is Reality Bites. Now, I watched this movie less than a month ago and I already forgot most of it. The one scene that I remember positively is the My Sharona scene. But everything else is just as generic as surface level as it gets. You've got Ethan Hawke playing this giant douchebag, and it's supposed to be a happy ending when he ends up with the girl. And I was just not on the movie's wavelength there. And then it's just not a funny movie. It's not an entertaining movie. It's just one of those movies that leaves no impact on you whatsoever. So that's why it's his second worst. Third worst movie is a hot take, but it's Tropic Thunder. Now look, there are some elements of this movie that I love. I do laugh a couple of times. Tom Cruise is comedic gold here. But the movie for the most part is just very forgettable. It's not nearly funny enough to make up for the one time. The whole shtick behind it gets old pretty fast. It's way too long. And it's just a movie I don't really enjoy. Like I said, it does have its moments, but just not enough. So that's why it's his third worst movie. His third best movie is Zoolander. Now, this movie is just as stupid and as absurd as the sequel. The only difference here, and it's a big one, is that this movie is actually funny. It is fully aware of just how dumb it is and leans into it every possible opportunity. The plot itself is so ridiculous and over the top. The satire of the modeling industry is spot on. You've got a great comedic performance from Ben Stiller and also Owen Wilson. And you've just got yourself some odd timer moments like the Wake Me Up Before You Go. It's not as funny as I remember it being, but it's certainly funny enough to say I enjoyed. My second favorite Ben Stiller directed movie is The Cable Guy. Now, I don't even consider this movie to be a comedy because it is a psychological thriller. It is this guy getting his life ruined by someone who has every bit of power above him, and it's a damn effective one. It is such an uncomfortable, unnerving movie that truly makes you think about the small talk you have with the people in your everyday life and just keeping that line between you, keeping boundaries. Because if not, then some lonely person can read way too much into it and just make things awkward and uncomfortable and try to ruin your life. And I think Matthew Broderick is the perfect leading man here. I think Jim Carrey gives a really good performance. And it's a very well-made movie in every way. And it's one, if you haven't seen, I can't recommend enough. But my favorite Ben Stiller directed movie is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. This is one of those movies that you watch and it makes you want to do more with your life. It is genuinely inspiring. And just all the landscapes on display here are beautiful. Some simple moments of him just longboarding down a mountain have so much excitement behind them. And you've also got yourself some great ideas of trying to do more with your life and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and it's explored very well. There's some nice emotion in here. Kristen Wiig is fantastic. It also has a good sense of humor. The soundtrack is really good, whether it's World Waves by Lake Michigan or Step Out or Space Oddity, or just the musical score by Theodore Shapiro, I believe is his name. That's great. And even the one moment with Sean Penn at the very end of this movie, it just makes you want to appreciate the things you have in your life while also motivating you to go out and do more. And very few movies do that for me, and this is one of them. And it's just a highly entertaining movie that I love quite a bit, so that's why it's my favorite. But what's your ranking of Ben Stiller's directed movies? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.